about that. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Antonio Reynoso, and I'm the president of the greatest borough in the city of New York, which is Brooklyn, of course. And I'm so happy to see everyone here. So welcome. We're going to proceed with our Borough Board meeting today. And we're going to begin with a roll call, of which Greg Lewis, who is my general counsel, will do.
Thank you, Mr. Borough President. We'll begin with the community boards. Community Board 1. And the representative, sir? David Heimlich. Community Board 2. Community Board 3. Community Board 4. Community Board 5. Community Board 6. Mike Racchioppo. Community Board 7. Community Board 8. Community Board 9. The name? Thank you, sir. Community Board 10.
Vice Chair Sandy Vallis.
Thank you. Community Board 11. Thank you. Community Board 12. Community Board 13. Community Board 14. Community Board 15. Community Board 16. Community Board 17. Community Board 18. Proceed to the council members. Council District 33, Lincoln Ressler. The designee's name?
Please state your presence and your name.
Council District 34, Jennifer Gutierrez. Council District 35, Crystal Hudson. Council District 36, Chiose. Council District 37, Sandy Nurse. Council District 38, Alexa Aviles. Council District 39, Shahana Hanif. Council District 40, Rita Joseph. Council District 41, Darlene Mealy. Council District 42, Christopher Banks. Council District 43, Susan Schwang. Council District 44, Calvin Yeager. Council District 45, Farrah Lewis. Council District 46, Mercedes Narcisse. Council District 47, Justin Brannon. Council District 48, Ina Vernikoff. Council District 50, David Carr. We have a quorum of 19, Mr.
19, Camacho. Thank you so much. So we have quorum. Just want to recognize Chris Banks as a new council member. Wanted to recognize him and thank him for having his representative here. David Carr, who now represents a portion of Brooklyn and mostly Staten Island, and Susan Zhuang, who now represents a portion of Brooklyn as well. Those are all three new members that you might have not heard or seen before. I just want to welcome their teams here and thank you for having them representative. We're going to move forward with I'm going to allow for our GC to run through the Robert Rules of Order for all the fun stuff, and then we'll get into the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Borough President. So first, the approval of the agenda. On Friday, February 2nd, a copy of the agenda was circulated to all Borough Board members. Did any member present today not receive a copy of the agenda circulated on February 2nd? Does any member of the Borough Board object to adopting the proposed agenda for this February 2024 Borough Board meeting as the agenda for this meeting? Hearing no objections, the agenda is adopted as the proposed agenda is adopted as the official agenda of the February 2024 Borough Board meeting. Included with the February 2nd email was a copy of proposed minutes. Did anyone not receive a copy of the proposed minutes of the January 2024 Borough Board meeting? Hearing that no one failed to receive a copy, does any member object to adopting a copy of the January 2024, the proposed minutes as the official minutes? So that's an objection. That it's going to be recorded as objection, Chairperson Mika Diaz, which means we do need to have a quick then vote on the adoption of the agenda. Do a quick roll call of those who had been present. CB1, objection to, will you adopt the minutes? Approved. Community Board 2. Community Board 3. Community Board 4. Do you approve? Community Board 5. Community Board 6. Community Board 7. Community Board 8. Yes, this is approval of minutes. Community Board 9.
I abstain.
Community Board 10. Community Board 11. Community Board 12. Community Board 13. Community Board 14.
Approve of the small correction that under the attendees, unlisted as CD 13, I'm CD 14.
Any objection to amending it to correct that it's?
Correct.
Hearing no objections, the amendment to correct is adopted. Continuing on with the roll call vote on the principle, so amended with that correction to adopt. Community Board 15.
Approved.
Community Board 16. Community Board 17. Community Board 18. Council District 33, Ressler. 34, Gutierrez. 35, Hudson. 36, Osei. 37, Nurse. 38, Aviles. 39, Hanif. 40, Joseph. 41, Mealy. 42, Banks. 43, Schwang. 44, Yeager. 45, Lewis. 46, Narcisse. 46, Narcisse. 47, Brannon. 48, Vernikoff. 50, Carr. The measure passes, the Borough President's Office also abstains, as it's custom. The minutes are adopted, 16 yes, with 5 abstentions and no. Moving along to the agenda, Borough Hall updates. Other than flagging that one of our continuing matters that we'll be taking up under the other business is the open meetings law resolution matters, and also flagging once again that the community board application season is upon us and remains open until February.
Point of order, Ken, you said it was 16 approved and 5 abstention?
Yes.
That's 21.
Yes.
You said it was 29, so we got 21.
From the two more additional members joined as part of for the vote on the approval of the minutes.
And myself, and the borough.
And this time we counted ours, certainly. And the open season on community board applications remain open until February 19th. No other Borough Hall updates, which, do you have any updates, Mr. Borough President?
Just, I guess in general sense, we also have our State of the Borough is coming up, February 13th. If you have an RSVP, please do so. We'll be talking about the commitments I've made in the past and where we are with them, and also about the future of this year in our office. As many of you know, we've moved our office from one that is predominantly of celebration into one that's more of service. So we'll be spending a lot of the funding that we get in discretionary in this borough hall on less parties and more food pantry work, supporting folks with applications for housing and other service-based items in an effort to help our Brooklynites that are in high need at the moment. And I want to keep it there because all the other updates and announcements that I want to make are going to be at the State of the Borough. So I hope you will all attend. And that's it for updates at the moment.
With that having been completed, that now brings us up to item 5 on the agenda, an unfinished business matter, and this is picking up where the last meeting left off when we determined that there was no longer quorum, and that is a vote on City of Yes Economic Opportunity, the proposal for the citywide text amendment that would remove limitations on businesses and support thriving commercial centers and retail streets by facilitating the repurposing of existing non-residential space through providing businesses with additional zoning flexibility to locate and expand. Some quick discussion of the procedures. This is a Charter 200 matter. Charter 200 matter is a proposal for a land use change that was initiated by the City Planning Commission, Department of City Planning. Under Section 85 of the Charter, subsections A and subsections B6, as well as the City Planning Rules, Section 2-05, the vote will be a roll call vote of all Borough Board members. That is because the text amendments affect all community districts, and Borough Board members, the council members, have a right to vote on everything as it is, as long as the Borough President. We're going to be proceeding to the vote. Given the circumstances, I do want to flag that the way it will work is we'll have some brief discussion. Then when it's time to vote, if a member wishes to explain their vote, they should simply ask for permission to explain the vote. That will be customarily granted, and you can make a statement in connection with your vote. It'll be a roll call vote. It's required to be a roll call vote under the governing rules. So just wanted to flag some of those points of procedure. It'll be a vote of the members and a discussion by the members, sort of with the last meeting having left off where the public hearing portion was closed. So this is going to be a membership vote. We'll begin with discussion, and for that, I'll hand it back to the Borough President.
Is it, some of the members, Borough Board members were not here last month and they didn't hear the public testimony. And there maybe were 30 people or so who testified in opposition to City of Yes. Only one of the many people here who was from the Chamber of Commerce testified, who supported City of Coy. So is it right for members to vote if they didn't hear the public?
Yes. Technically, yes.
Technically,
Yes.
but it's not very democratic.
Sure. So right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a very technical vote. And what I hope would happen is during the vote, the members have at their liberty to explain their vote or not explain their vote. And through that, hopefully you feel that whatever vote they take is justified by whatever means that they deem necessary. So I just want to allow for them to go through that process. We did have a public hearing on this, and the public portion of it did happen, and this is a follow-up to that in which the public is going to, the board will now vote. So I just want to allow for them to go through their discussion. You might be pleasantly surprised. I don't know, but I think it's deeply important. I want to be careful because you're indirectly making a comment that it could change people's minds, or like a public hearing, like what would happen in a public hearing. So I want to limit your comments and allow for us to go through roll call, and then after that, I'm more than happy to have a more general discussion. But I want to allow for the board. Well, I want the Borough Board to do what they do because that is what we're technically supposed to do, right? And I think that you should allow for the universe to take its course, and let's see what they do. You have no idea what they're going to do, I guess, because you're angst. But I think we should just allow for the technical portion of this meeting to take place.
Anybody taking any
part of that. So just so there's an understanding that we're, the chairs here are not making a unilateral decision about how they feel, they are reporting on what the board has
Yes, so to clarify, the chairs are representative of their entire community board. So if their community board is taking a vote on this issue, they will be voting according to the wills of their board. I don't believe any chairperson here is going to vote against the votes that were made at the community board level. So their representation is a reflection of the entire community board, not of themselves as an individual. So I just want to be clear with that, as opposed to a vote that I would take in the future, which would be a reflection directly of me. They are not doing that, so I just want you to be careful when you make your comments, or if there is any, after a vote, you might disagree, make sure you understand that these individuals are not, are representing people, not themselves per se. So I just want to clarify that as well. But I think we're doing too much here. We're going to be fine. We're going to vote, and we're going to let democracy take its course. So we're going to do the best we can and see what it looks like. So we're going to start with community board. Oh, I was going to say, okay, so we're going to allow, so we can have a discussion at this point with the people that are 2 votes. We can have a discussion, and then a discussion on why they're going to vote the way they are, or why things are moving the way they are, whatever it is, a discussion. Thereafter, when you take your vote, you could then explain yourself again, or not have to explain yourself if you did it during the general discussion. So we want to open up the floor to the members of the Borough Board to discussion. Does anyone want to make a statement? The
Chairperson.
chair recognizes Camacho from Community Board 4.
I just want to let all the borough boards know that we really need to address this issue that is very important in regards to something that's not community-driven by the mayor's office. You know, when they come here and they plant something in our face and they tell us this is what we want without telling him what we want, meaning what we want. Bushwick did the BCP plan. We had a plan 10 years ago. Whether you guys failed to take it, this is a plan that was done by the community and the stakeholders that live in Bushwick. When nobody wanted to be there 10 years ago, now everybody wanted to do Christopher Columbus syndrome and throw the natives out. Just like the city of no. We don't call it yes because it's not for us. So our board fully said no, but we want you to go back and look at our plan. I looked at yours, don't like it. Tell the mayor I say we don't like it. There's hours there. If he's willing to work with hours, I'm all good for it. And I hope, Chairman and Mr. Borough President, that you echo all the communities here, because we're all going to be affected by it. It's going to get worse. So we really need to all set the tone and allow them, and also our council people that we voted them in for, and letting them know that we can't keep doing this back and forth. If you're going to change the laws and the rules, come to this community, come to our community and let us know what is it that you want and how is it that you want, because you was voted in by your peers. And it's a kind of slap in the face when behind closed doors, you paint something that you guys want and not what the community want. So we echo, and I echo to all of you, we really need to shoot this down. We need to set the tone, all the community boards, because cancer spread. It doesn't stay in one block. It goes everywhere. So when we all get together, all of us, with our differences, if they want to come, if the mayor wants to come to Borough Hall and sit with us and do our plan, I'm well, good and fine and dandy, but there's a booklet we did 10 years ago. And because Mayor de Blasio said that it was a down zone and not a dub zone in my community, he created an environment that's terrible. And what's happening now is they're building all these buildings and we can't live in it. When I had rocks and bricks and everything. Now all of a sudden you got skyscrapers and our young kids can't live in the place where they were born. Is that even right? Do you look out your window and my grandkid says, Dad, Grandpa, why can't I live in that new building? Why can't we live there? But yet they could put us in a shelter on the other side of town and school us here to come to get the education. And some of these elected officials I know graduated from our community. So let's be realistic and let's keep it real. I want to thank you for this time. No, CB4 said no. We have the Bushwick Community Plan. That's what we want. We're not going with yours because we know what it's all about. We want ours, and we hope to encourage you and help us work on, you know our plan anyway. So you can open our book, your picture's in the front page. So you can open my book because you was our person, and this is what the community wants. And we hope all our elected officials, regardless of new or don't, y'all know what's going on now. Got nothing to do with race because the mayor is black and, or he should be catering to us. No, it's all about the Benjamins, all about the money and taking away our power to say that he gave. We need more and we deserve more. All of us do. Thank you.
So, I just want to, I like snaps. If you don't know how to snap, waving hands. It's just while they're speaking, try to limit the claps and the cheering just so they could get through it. Afterwards, I don't mind a couple of seconds of cheering if that's what you guys want to do. Want to say thank you to Camacho for recognizing the Bushwick Community Plan, which is an amazing plan that we should have moved forward with. It didn't happen, and here we are with a different plan, but appreciate your comments, Camacho. Anyone else?
Any other Borough Board member? Chairperson.
Yeah. Chairperson Pena, you're recognized.
Thank you. Good evening, and apologies for my tardiness. Commuting from the Bronx is
What are you doing in the Bronx?
work in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
Community Board 7 met, I believe, 3 times to discuss economic opportunity. We even held a special meeting just to vote on it because of quorum issues, but I digress. So ultimately, CB7 voted to approve components 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12, and 16 of City of Yes, as we felt that they were non-controversial or not pertinent to our specific district. I did want to focus on a few that we voted to oppose, as well as stipulate some conditions. So regarding component 5, our board voted to oppose component 5 concerning commercial use on upper floors. We felt that this would affect either new construction homes, reduced of housing, as well as existing homes for business or for owners wishing to renovate. Regarding component 7, our board did vote in favor of component 7. However, we did have concerns from board members and members of the public regarding urban agriculture and the use of and selling of cannabis in homes, since that is now a legal crop in New York State. Regarding component 9, nightlife, our board voted to approve component 9, however, with the caveat that any proposed venue with occupancy greater than 200 should be subject to public review, similar to ULURP. Component 9, which affects large amusement facilities as well as in manufacturing districts. CB7 has amusement facility, Urban Air, which has caused significant traffic congestion, quality of life issues. And our board, however, voted to approve this aspect of, voted to disapprove, with the caveat that proposed facilities be subject to public review. And component 13, which includes auto repair shops, our board voted to approve with the inclusion of car dealerships and e-bike and other vehicle sales to be included in the auto repair category. And I'm going to stop at this next one, component 14, which is micro distribution facilities, CB7 as well as CB6. I'm not going to speak for CB6, but I will speak for CB7, has had a significant increase in last mile facilities, which increases truck traffic, congestion, as well as quality of life issues and air issues. So we voted to oppose that component 14, which affects micro distribution facilities. And that's it.
Thank you. And this is not the voting portion, so when we get back up, you're going to have to just repeat the numbers. We got the context. All right. Got you. Any more discussion for any board members? Any board members? You are allowed to explain your vote as well if there is no more discussion. Yes, sir. Can you say where you're?
And tonight, our vote is no, simply because many of our board members still need a lot of clarification on a lot of the proposals or a lot of the things that have been suggested, and our board believes that time is required here. And because of that, we are voting no tonight.
All right. Does it go back to the community board?
It's the Borough Board. This is the CPC. Yeah, it's the CPC.
I'll express Community Board 14's vote when we get to that portion, but I just want to offer a metaphor when you're considering this measure. I brought before the board the metaphor of a sort of a sound system equalizer where you have treble and bass, and you've got, 15 gigahertz and 32 gigahertz, and you get this new stereo system and you think you know better, so you deviate from the preset sound and you put in all the things, and then you play your favorite song and it sounds like garbage, right? Because you just went too far, you moved too many variables at once. And that's sort of how I picture this entire zoning text amendment, that we need to deal with each one, because unfortunately, unlike being able to press the button for jazz to go back to the preset, we can't do that here.
Okay.
Thank you.
I see. All right. That's the metaphor. This, we're going to get you a mic, so Joe will be running to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Deborah Williams, and I'm second chair for Community Board 16. And we also didn't have enough time. Our district did not have enough time to go through it. They just brought it to us like last month, and so our vote will be no.
That's unfortunate. Any other? We're still open for discussion for Borough Board members. Okay, still open for discussion for Borough Board members. Still open for discussion for Borough Board members. Okay. So we're going to move on to a roll call vote. If you want to, you can explain yourself during roll call. The board members all know this stuff better than I do, so I don't even know why I'm saying these things. We're opening up to roll call. We're going to start at the top, right? Community Board 1.
Yes, Mr. Borough President. So just again to repeat the procedures, this is a roll call vote as required by Section 2-05, subsection E, subsection 2 of the city planning rules and the rules of the City of New York. The Borough President has already given blanket permission to explain the vote. So the point that was made earlier saying members should request permission to explain their vote, they don't need to. You can, when I make the roll call, you can explain your vote and then log the vote. We'll begin with Community Board 1. Community Board 2. Community Board 3. Community Board 4. Community Board 5. Community Board 6. Community Board 7.
Yes, with the conditions outlined by our board, which I can provide via email.
Chairperson Pena, just for clarity of the record, would that be yes to components 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12, 16, the 7 with the conditional in favor of 7, the point about the component number 9, an objection to that, an objection to the auto repair, the approval with the note of the inclusion of e-bikes and car dealerships to component number 13, an opposition to component 14?
That's correct. Excellent memory.
Good note.
Community Board 8.
I would abstain, and I will tell you that we also need time, we got second, that most of it done, but we are voting for it Thursday this week.
While, please vote for it so we could take note. Unfortunately, for the board portion of it, it's going to go in as an abstention, but we will recognize the board once it makes its vote. Excuse me?
Pardon, Chairperson Witherspoon, the vote is
It'll be no.
No. Thank you.
Community Board 9.
We oppose in its entirety. No.
Community Board 10.
No, we feel that a plan this big cannot be done on a one-size-fits-all, and it's just too big and too broad to run one plan. So we vote no.
Community Board 11.
Community Board 11 opposes the plan, but we do have modifications that we would like to submit to you to explain our vote.
Recommendations. A no with recommendations that you'll submit.
Community Board 12. Community Board 13.
Was there a motion to approve?
No, this was, the vote is noticed as part of the public notice. You don't need a motion in those circumstances.
Our vote is no, CB 13.
Community Board 14.
Community Board 14, my board believes that the zoning will be carried out by more good people than bad actors. So our response was yes, with a multitude of changes and conditions, which were submitted to DCP through the ZAP portal. I'm happy to send it to your office so you can review. We did the worksheet. It should be a 3-minute read. We are absolutely have big problems with commercial above housing. Much of our discussion reflects what the results of CB7 were. We have issues with the auto and last mile trucking, and asked for changes on where they would do micro distribution. So I will send that to your office, but the results in average was yes with extensive changes and conditions. Thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Community Board 15.
Community Board 15 voted to approve with modifications. Modifications for loading zones, bars and clubs, amusements, home businesses, commercial and residential separation, and car repair shops.
Thank you.
Community Board 16. Community Board 17.
Community Board 17 votes no, simply because we believe that we need more time to understand how each changes will be implemented.
Thank you.
Community Board 18.
Community Board 18 voted in complete opposition and would prefer to leave zoning
And just for the record, you are, Community Board 18 did not make the roll call at the beginning of the meeting. You are? Perfect. Thank you, Chairperson Hopkins. Moving on to the council members. Council District 33, Wrestler. Council District 34, Gutierrez. Also, did not have a note. You are for the... Anya. Did you submit a designation? Awesome. And sorry, the vote was? Council District 35, Hudson. Council District 36, Osei. You are, got it.
Yeah, when you vote, can you just say your name so we know who you are?
And it was abstention? Council District 37, Nurse. Council District 38, Aviles. Council District 39, Hanif. Is that abstention? Yes, sorry. Council District 40, Joseph. Council District 41, Mealy. Council District 42, Banks. Council District 43, Zhuang. Council District 44, Yeager. Council District 45, Lewis. Heredia. Is that you, Mr. Heredia? Yes. The vote?
Abstain.
Thank you. Council District 46, Narcisse. Council District 47, Brannan. Council District 48, Vernikoff. Council District 50, Carr.
Yep.
Yes, you please.
Can you just wait for the microphone? You'll be good.
Oh,
One
sorry.
second, just the microphone. I want to hear you. Did you come from Staten Island?
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm here on
Did you
behalf
come
of
from Staten
Councilman
Island?
Carr. I did come from Staten Island. I took the
I'm
car
sorry
to
for you
Bay
too.
Ridge and then took the train here.
All right,
So,
good.
Councilman Carr opposes the City of Yes economic opportunity application as it is currently drafted. There have been serious concerns expressed by Brooklyn Community Board 10, as well as the 3 community boards in Staten Island that also overlap with District 50. The council member remains willing to work with the Department of City Planning and other stakeholders to make this application meet the needs and protect the contextual districts of the neighborhoods he represents as the application reaches the City Council. However, at present, he cannot support any resolution short of disapproval. Councilmember Carr votes no.
Thank you.
Oh, the Brooklyn Borough President.
And I will abstain. Yeah, well, my recommendation is public already, but it's a yes with modifications. So I have it. It's on public. It's public notice. So if you guys want to see it, we can go on the website. I don't know if we can print it for everyone here, but it's a yes with modifications. I don't know it by heart. It's 16 proposals. No, yeah, exactly. There you go. Thank you. No, I'm gonna vote. I'll vote yes with modifications. I just didn't want to get it wrong, and I don't have it right in front of me. But it's a yes with modifications.
He said yes to 16 of the proposals out of 18.
There you go.
So what's the representing?
Yeah, we're gonna record the vote now.
The vote from the Borough Board on the City of Yes economic opportunity proposal is 5 yes, 7 no, with 11 abstentions, the measure does not pass.
All right. So, thank you to the Borough Board for doing a good job of voting and explaining themselves. Okay. We'll repeat the vote one more time for clarification. Some people
Sure.
didn't hear.
For the record, it is 5 yes, noting for the record that some of the yes votes were with modifications, 7 no, or modifications or conditions, 7 no, and 11 abstentions. And just also for the record, the minutes of the Borough Board will include members who referenced other votes as part of the record. So the record will include the votes and the explanations from community boards. That's 5 yes, 7 no, 11 abstentions.
Just for clarification, abstention is a no vote. So they just say like that because they want to sound some of the elected officials. So
No, no, an abstention, Camacho, an abstention is an abstention. Uh-huh. Well, we don't, a lot of these, especially,
I know that they only say abstention because they want to sound good, but I understand.
you said you think it's a what, though, Camacho? You think it's a no or a yes? All right, well, we're gonna find out, because the council members vote officially.
Their abstention is a no vote. If you look at the charter, it's a no vote. Because you can say yes or you say no.
I think a lot of the council members are waiting for their bite at the apple through the process to explain themselves more clearly, to hear the responses that we got from the Borough Board and more community members. So I want to give the council members that voted no some grace here, that they might be yes, they might be no. We don't necessarily know that long term. So, but for the objective of today, there were abstentions, and the no votes carried at Borough Board. We're up to item number 6, which is communications and reports. We had none to report.
There are none. Just to be clear, the public notice posted on the city record includes an item that we were not able to proceed with. So the adopted agenda does not have a communication report. There was to be a public hearing on a budget matter. It's not ready yet. So there are no communication reports, which brings us up to agenda item number 7. Sorry, the other part of it, which is member updates, is the next agenda item.
Member updates?
Community Board 14 is having their annual youth conference on Wednesday, March 6th at Brooklyn College. No, sorry, correct me, at the Flatbush YMCA. So if you know any young people looking for opportunities, we'll have over 50 presenters tabling with information, some jobs, and other opportunities for the summer. So I hope to see everybody there. Should be from 4 to 7, and it's on March 6th. That's a Wednesday at Flatbush YMCA. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other updates from members? Any other update from members? Okay, we'll move on to item number 7.
So the next steps on the open meeting law discussion.
You had said that we were going to have an opportunity to speak on that meeting, because the public has not had an opportunity to speak on it.
Which issue? Which
You
issue?
were on quorum last time at the last meeting. Do you remember, Mr. Lewis? You now have quorum, and we would like to speak on that issue.
On which issue?
Ms. Board, there's no public hearing agenda item on this particular agenda. Now, if a member wishes to allow that to happen, that's a different question. But on this, we don't have a public hearing component to this agenda item, to this agenda for this meeting.
We should allow the public to have a comment about that, because it's going to affect us.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No, this deals with the open meetings law resolution matter. I mean, to sort of get to.
So everybody, we're talking here. All right, let's talk. All right, I just don't understand why you want to discuss related to number 7, other business, and the next steps to the open meetings law resolution.
Yes.
More than happy to allow you to do that. More than happy. Yeah, absolutely. So I as chair, want to recognize you and allow you to say a few words, if you would, for the sake of us all here today, keep it brief, but as powerful as ever. Go ahead.
What they're proposing is to sit there and have the community boards now do video conferencing instead of in person. And as a resident of a low, moderate income community, a lot of the residents in my community don't have access to internet service. This will completely disempower the residents in my community from being able to attend community board meetings. Because if you can't get on the internet because you don't have internet service, then you cannot participate. That's the first issue that we have. The second issue is that always, and some community boards, like mine, there's no chat. So we can't speak to anybody, we can't speak to our elected officials, we can't speak to their representatives, we can't get information. So we're left out of the process because the way in which they conduct Zooms, depending upon how liberal your community board is, you could be completely left out of the process. And this is how we are treated. We're treated like second-class citizens in our own community because we can't speak to each other, we can't get information that people bring to the community board. They say, oh, we're gonna leave it in the chat. Oh, we don't have chat. Okay. The third issue is the mute button. Now, I don't know how many people have gotten muted. That's a regular at my community board. So, you know, they disempower us by having, you know, the Zoom platform. Now, I don't have a problem with a shared platform where the community can come, but I believe that the community board representatives have to also come in person. You made the obligation to represent the people. So we have the right to go there and meet you and talk to you and conversate with you. I love talking to Reynoso. Didn't you say how nice I was with him? Yeah, he's my elected official. I should be able to go to a meeting, see him and say, hey, Reynoso, what's up with that text amendment? Okay, I can't do that in a Zoom. I'm not allowed to do that in Zoom. And so I think that we need to stop thinking about just the convenience of board members who want to stay home. And I know, hey, I understand that, but these meetings are for the public. They are for us. They are for the residents. And we should be allowed to attend a meeting physically in person, speak to our elected officials, be able to raise our hand, tell our thoughts, and we should not be deprived of it because we don't have the money. So I believe that if they go through with this, that might be a class action lawsuit because you're depriving the public of being able to have access to a public meeting, and it's based upon the fact that you have to have internet service. And again, my community, predominantly, we are a moderate income community of color. Average income is what, 50,000, 60,000? What is it, Dante? 45,000. And so a lot of the residents in my community do not have internet service. And they have, for the last 2 years, been deprived of going to the community boards. And we have a lot of seniors who come, who regularly participate, and I miss those voices. And so I am asking that you guys consider that, consider us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're board members. We have 2 comments from board members. I'm gonna keep that mic handy right here. All right, let's go to Camacho first because he hasn't made a comment on this.
I understand that, but we have longtime board members, especially one of my seniors that have cancer. And we try to make sure that we include her in it because she gets a kick out of being part of the community, not alienated. So if we can make it where the people that are on the Zoom is an emergency, or they have to babysit a kid, or they're running late and they have to work and they come through the door and they want to turn their computer on, then I think they should be counted in the vote. Because what happens is the quorum is from inside. People have to be inside in order to count as a quorum, not the people on Zoom. So our problem is that we want the people on Zoom that are board members, some of them that are seniors, bedridden, that wants to get, just because they're bedridden doesn't mean their mouth don't know, because I got a lot of seniors that are killers on the phone, but we also want to encourage them and don't take away their participation, because that's what keeps them going, especially at 80, 70, 75, and you got a brain. Only thing, you can't function as much as you can or walk as much as you can, but I think that we shouldn't elevate them from being part of a Zoom meeting or participating in it, and also being part of the quorum. That's my concern, and only if it's, because we got a lot of board members, new board members that are coming in that get on the board and think that I got to go to work. My opinion, if you got to go to work and don't be a board member. You got to work. That means you don't care. Work comes first, right? Then if you have time and you can't participate, then you join. You take the stroke. You don't come in there and then you're all absent, and then we don't have a quorum on committee and we can't push our agenda forward. So we want to make sure that we're fair to everyone. And I speak to them on a constant basis, to each one of them, and we give them time. In our bylaws, we have X amount of days they can, and we give courtesy to people that had over 10 years. We give them a little leeway, but we got to work. And it's very important, especially when it comes to house and land use process, and also those liquor permits, because they're always blaming us when people are partying, drinking, and pissing all over the place. So they always go CB4 is giving license. We don't give license out. We make recommendations and give them hours of operations, and then that's it. A lot of people think that we go around giving them. We don't give them. We only do our job. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Camacho? I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you. Sorry.
Council Lewis, can you point of clarification? I mean,
Yes,
we're
exactly.
trying to center this item with corporate meeting law, correct? And I feel like this conversation is a little bit ahead of the cart,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Because we're asking for a modification to the open meeting law, and then other items will follow, and that's basically under the guidance of what that would look like, right? So I just kind of think like this.
So I'll give some context as best as I possibly can here. So the work that we're trying to do here is first to find out if under the current law there's an opportunity to allow for like a COVID-like hybrid situation to happen in community boards as of right. So we're requesting to see that first. We haven't come to a conclusion whether or not that can possibly happen. So it's the board has asked us to look into it. The second thing would be to make recommendations for legislation that would allow for the modification of the open meetings law to allow for this hybrid opportunity for voting. But no one has taken a position on exactly the contents of what the open meeting law recommendations would be. In some cases, it could be that a majority of the quorum has to happen in person, people over 70, or excused absences are allowed for quorum. Like, we don't know I'm so sorry. I'm giving all examples. I know so I apologize for that. I want to retract that statement. But the point being is the content of what it looks like is not set in stone yet, and the board hasn't agreed to exactly what it would look like. What they want to do is entertain the opportunity to modify the open meetings law by sending a resolution to the city council. Yes. To the city council and requesting that they look into the matter. To the state, there you go, to the state. A resolution to the state. That's all I was asking my GC. For the state. Always clarify, it's all love. I'm going to be wrong a lot of times. I have no problem with that. Just tell me what it is. So we're going to send the resolution to the state in an effort to have them look into the open meetings law and do as they wish. Eventually, through that process, there will be a vote. Well, do as the community.
Must do by the law.
Well, they're legislators. They're allowed to modify the law as they see fit. And I believe, we would be able to make recommendations more clearly and more concisely to them if they open up the process of the open meetings law.
To add to what the borough president was saying, yeah, so what's been brought up for the agenda tonight is there are sort of two next steps. The first next step is exactly along the lines of what the borough president was saying. There's a letter we've drafted as the borough board requested that is to be directed to the Committee on Open Government to explain, to be hyper-technical, whether Section 41 of the General Construction Law and a provision that has since to the year 2000 allowed for participation by video conferencing, whether it would allow, as the borough president said, essentially this hybrid situation to continue to happen as a matter of right. That's the first thing that the next step would be if a member wants to move that discussion so we can vote on the letter, approve a final form of the letter, will be dispatched. The second thing is possibly to form a committee to continue to work on a letter that would be directed to the state requesting some legislation. There's no draft legislation. We're ways away from that. But I think the request had been made in 2021, and we surfaced it again just to flag for the Borough Board that this was still an issue that the Borough Board wanted to discuss given some of the quorum issues that have been identified at community board level. So that'd be two things. Be approving the letter. If there are changes to it, or if it's good to go. We can't, the Borough President's office can only act at the direction of the Borough Board on behalf of the Borough Board, so that would be required someone to make a move on that, or motion on that rather, and this letter to sort of perhaps form a committee to continue to work on some of the language that had been expressed. So that's the two things that are under the other business item. It's not the more general or broader point.
Yeah, while also recognizing that the comments made by the general public member, Ms. Boyd, it's just like, absolutely, we're gonna have a discussion about it. We wanna talk about it. There are credible things on both sides. The arguments have to be made. And we're looking forward to a very good conversation as Brooklynites to get to the best outcome. That is the goal. So I don't wanna dismiss the comments made by Ms. Boyd. So we're gonna proceed. So, all right, we're gonna allow for the general public to continue to speak on this item. If we can do everyone a favor here, we don't want to put a clock on anyone. We're gonna. He's ready. He was ready for a clock. We're gonna. He wants folks to speed up. What I would say is, just be concise. If you hear what you said is being repeated, please just ditto the person that went before you. But just try to be conscious of the people around you. So please. Yes.
Mr. Borough President, my name is Stanley Ain, and I'm here on behalf of Susan Swan. My first meeting, thank you.
Congrats. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome. Round of applause for first meetings.
I got the package this afternoon. It was go to the meeting. I did my research on virtual meetings, OML, and everything else. So in my research, I came up with 2 instances where these virtual meetings could be abused. And they occurred at the CEC levels more than the community board. I don't know if you're aware of them.
I am.
So one of them is the November District 14 CEC. So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then recently you had the District 22 with the people having a meeting on a Friday that excluded the Jewish population. So the thing is that if you do go forward with this, I implore upon you to make sure these abuses do not go forward.
Okay.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We're going to go right here, and then here. Chris will wait a bit. You'll be third. No, this way first. Yes.
Hi, Maria Roca from Sunset Park, member of the public. I would like to ditto and support the comments by my fellow community member, member of the public, Alicia Boyd, as to the restrictions that it would impose in communities, working class communities. And note each community board, 1 through whatever. This was a vote, was it a full no, an abstention, or whatever comments were made with modifications. To the detail. The public needs to know those details. Because I will tell you, I've been talking not only in my community, across the people that end up at COI, many of the
So-
people who sit on boards
We got it.
voted without truly understanding what they were voting on.
Okay, so we're gonna,
So-
all right, thank you so much for that. We expressed earlier on, so the second part, which is, we're gonna let you speak. The second part, we talked about every community board is going to submit their votes with all the content of whatever submissions they give to us, we will be presenting publicly. We're not as transparent as we could possibly be. We'll do the best, yes. We have it video recorded. It might even be up in video, so you won't even, it would be double down on it, but we'll have every single, we're gonna do the best we can to give people the most that they possibly can see, whether it's reading, video, we wanna make it as accessible as possible, so we will be doing that. Thank you. You're okay?
No, I would speak, but you said him.
All right, Chris, now you're gonna have to go, and then Chris will go next, and then you.
Okay. Well, first, I was curious if you saw the video of last month's meeting to hear the public testimony.
Two things, so we're gonna,
I mean, I have a second question, second part, but
Just
I know it's off topic, but
Thank
it's
you.
important that you,
I did see it, don't worry about it.
Did you watch the
Yes,
whole-
Chris put the whole thing up on.
you saw the
on
whole
Twitter.
thing,
I saw the
okay.
whole thing.
So the second part was in, something Alicia said was pretty disturbing, is that there's no chat. And I'm wondering if that could be, right, if you're on Zoom, there's no chat in your community board. And is that even legal? Can you cut off the public like that? And that should be addressed.
Okay.
That the public must be heard. I mean, it's the community board after
Mm-hmm.
all. Let's remember, and not the members of the community. We are the community, and we need to be heard. And the other thing is about, where do you post the minutes? Because I was looking on the borough president's website and couldn't find them. The minutes and the agenda, I couldn't find any of it on. It needs to be up front, and I also recommend that every community board send out this information, because they don't send out these meetings, that these meetings occur, they don't tell you what the agenda, they don't tell you what happened. Every community board in their notes should send it out.
Okay.
So
Open
can you
meeting.
make that recommendation?
No, thank you for your comments. Heard loud and clear. Chris? I should respond. Where is it on you? I should.
It's on? It's on? Ready or?
We're figuring out the situation with the Borough Board. It's something that we're trying to figure out. The Borough Board there are laws that require separate record keeping for the Borough Board. The Borough Board is not like a part of the Office of Brooklyn Borough President. That's a very important piece to flag. So we're trying to figure out how best, and there are some options that we'll be talking to the Borough Board about in terms of.
You've seen my newsletter? Have you seen my
I
newsletter?
just want to flag, the Borough Board, though, is not the Office of Brooklyn Borough President. That's a very important distinction for, the sort of integrity of the board.
We hear your comment. We hear your comment. We care deeply about transparency. We hear your comment. I want to keep it there, but we hear you, 100%.
So where do the public address comments or questions or concerns?
Right here, you just did that. So you just did that. And we're recording everything here today. It is on video.
They're a separate entity.
We're gonna-
Okay, I just wanted to understand.
We're gonna take care of everyone here. You will be very happy when you go on. Right now, I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna try to be as honest as possible, which my general counsel might not be as happy. We have, you stop me if I go too far. No, look, the issue we have is a very technical issue and a capacity issue. It is not an intentional issue. We just hired Stefan. Is Stefan even here? He's not. We just hired a new person that is working on our website. We lost our previous person who used to do the website, and we've had some struggles in trying to develop. We will be putting up everything we possibly can on our website as soon as possible. It is under construction, and we're asking for grace. It is not intentional in any way. Anyone that knows me in the work that we do, transparency is deeply important to me, whether good or bad, whether positive or negative. I want to make sure people have the information. We are working to get it out as soon as we possibly can. Stefan started last week. All right.
And the only other piece I want to add to that is in that process, there's that technical end. It does have to be approved by the Borough Board. As you can see that so that's one of the things that we're figuring out with the Borough Board, and
We
we'll
got you.
work on it.
We got you.
Ready?
Chris, go ahead.
All right. Ready? Hey, my name is Christopher Leon Johnson from Brooklyn. I was on Community Board 8 for a few months. It's a long story. So I want to explain this situation right now with your office, Reynoso. With open meetings, your office have to be more transparent of what's going, like, to the people on here. Not only people that's on social media, the people that uses email. And you need to send, I don't know how much money this office have to send out mailers. You need to start sending to people's houses because this is not right. You need to you need to open your chats up. When you have these meetings, the people here should be able to speak. You should go by how the other organizations do. Whoever registers first, get to speak first. It shouldn't be where agencies speak first. I understand agencies, but it should be where only the nonprofits speak first and they get all the time. And then it's the other nonprofits that get all the time. And then when it comes to us, we get 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then when it gets 3-minute mark, you cut us off. Now, I want to make this point right here, bro. You need to be more fair and have your organizations that you support, like these nonprofits that you support, when they have these meetings, be more fair with the people. They should be able to have it open to everybody. If you're funding them, they should be more transparent to us. Transportation alternatives, open plans, open New York for all, these, Impact BK, NHS, all these organizations that you fund with your budget, you should be able to allow these organizations to be more transparent to us. It should be more public to us with the speeches instead of them censoring us and muting our speeches. Or sometimes don't even run the speeches. And I'm gonna say this right now, bro. I know you only borough president. If you funding them, you should tell them I want to fund you, you should release your footage to the public. Anything that was recorded that you put, it should be all recorded. So the public should know because this is our money we're spending. The public.
This is his comment period.
Yeah,
Let him speak.
Reynoso, you fund them. Why is certain these nonprofits like Transportation Alternatives and Open Plans and Open New York for All and Impact BK and NHS are not releasing their footage when they have these meetings? You need to be on top of that, bro.
Okay, Chris, what meetings are you talking about? What meetings?
Like
are we
Transportation Alternatives, like they have these BQE meetings, the BQE North and BQE South. They
So
don't
you believe that we're having meetings in Borough Hall in which Transportation Alternatives is there and we're not making them public to the people?
Yeah, that's what I believe.
So I would ask you to foil our office.
Yeah.
So you should foil us.
Yep.
We'll do the best we can. He's in charge of foils. So you can see my schedule and see how many meetings with Transportation Alternatives I've taken.
Yeah.
I need you to do that.
All right.
Second thing is every single organization that you mentioned, I've given $0 to from this office. So this office has received, so no money for Transportation Alternatives, NHS, Impact Brooklyn. So I want to be transparent with you.
Yeah.
I actually believe this stuff. It's scary, but I actually believe it. So I just would say, you should foil me for, 1 second. Wait, I want to finish.
Can I make a motion to adjourn? You can talk to him in a
No, I'm gonna finish.
Yeah. Yo, you can finish, bro.
By law he can, but Chris, we'll follow up after.
All right, yeah.
Yes.
It's a preemptive motion, so you have to entertain it.
Yeah, I know, go.
Sorry, stop.
Wait, we didn't track it all, Chairman.
Chairperson Camacho.
Make the motion, Camacho, it is
Chairperson
by
Camacho,
right.
you've made a motion. We're gonna have to.
Wait, we're gonna have the.
You've made a motion. It is a peremptory motion, which means we have to entertain it. So the second thing is
The Borough Board is making a motion to adjourn, so we're gonna hear them out.
Say it again.
The motion was seconded.
I know
Okay,
that. You said,
okay.
we're trying
keep
to
track of
slow
it.
down.
Everyone's screaming.
So,
How are we supposed to keep track of it?
Chairperson Scavo,
Seconded the motion
you seconded the motion.
to adjourn.
All right, so this is on the motion to adjourn. We'll do the quick roll call on this because, we're gonna do a roll call on this because it is, in the context it was made, we should do a quick one. CB1, I understand that,
There is a
but
motion.
it's a Robert's Rules Assembly and a motion to adjourn is a high order motion. We have to entertain it. CB1, CB2, CB3, CB4.
Go ahead.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm out of here.
CB5, CB6, CB7. CB8. CB9. CB10. CB11. CB12. CB13.
No.
CB14.
CB 14 abstains in hopes that we can stay to the agenda.
CB15.
Adjourn.
That's, yes?
Yes.
16. CB16. Sorry?
No.
CB17. CB18. Council District 33, Wrestler. Council District 34, Gutierrez. Council District 35, Hudson.
On
Yes,
adjournment.
on an adjournment. Yes. Council District 36, Osei. Council District 37, Nurse. Council District 38, Aviles. Council District 39, Hanif. Council District 40, Joseph. Council District 41, Mealy.
City council members don't care about hearing from the public, nor do their representatives care about hearing.
Council District 41, Mealy. Council District 42, Banks. Council District 43, Schwang.
They're employees, they don't care about us.
Council District 44, Yeager. Council District 45, Lewis. Council District 46, Narcisse. Council District 47, Brannan. Council District 48, Vernikoff. Council District 50, Carr. What are we saying? What are we doing? The Borough President. Reno. The measure, there are 8 in favor. Sorry, there are 7 in favor, 8 no, with 2 abstentions. The motion does not pass. The meeting continues.
All right, so go ahead. Give it 1 second, let us give you the mic. We're just putting the camera on you.
Again, point of order, we are off the agenda. Exactly.
All right, we're gonna hold the agenda in order, that's my fault. I hold the chairperson's fault, that's my fault. It has to be related to the open meetings law, or we're gonna call it germane? Not germane.
I am referring and supporting all the people who spoke in regard to the open meetings law because they had very good comments about the need for the televised as well as the in-person. And however, that isn't the only issue because I go to Community Board 6 meetings and they had both there and a good representation of both, and they allowed no public discussion of the city, yes. None whatsoever. They had meetings quietly. What's more, since I am a disabled person, came in here with a walker, they have an office that is up all kinds of flights of stairs and hold meetings there. One of their members had the nerve to say to me, well, why should you care?
So with that having been concluded, discussion from the public, there are 2 things that would be possibly to be resolved tonight by the Borough Board. If someone makes a motion, we'll do that. With the February 2nd email giving the minutes and the agenda were the 2 documents, were a copy of a letter as well as the point about committees. We'll start with the first one. On the letter, The thing that would be for the Borough Board to resolve tonight is whether that letter is approved in its form with directives for us to send it on behalf, the Office of Brooklyn Borough President, to send it to the Committee on Open Government on behalf of the Borough Board. And the letter, the basic letter is asking whether the current law would allow for what, there is a discussion about, would allow for the hybrid universe. Did any member not receive a copy of the letter? I believe copies of the letter are also outside on the table. Did any letter of the member of the Borough Board? All right. Anyone, I see Mr. Arnwine made the point.
Can somebody make a motion?
Does anyone else not see it? Yeah, we're gonna get that. All right. Not hearing that anyone failed to see it. I see some folks might be wanting to get a copy of it.
We can still move forward.
There's no letter out there, so it's purely by email. Did anyone not get the email? Any member of the Borough Board? It would not have been distributed to the public, just to be clear. This is just for the members.
Yes, but the public has a right to everything. That's the open meeting law. You should know that. If you're voting on an item, you're supposed to have the item present at the time that the vote is happening so that the public can see what you're voting on. You cannot have a document that you're voting on.
Are there any motions from members of the public?
Motion to approve the letter being sent.
Let's not violate the law.
There's been a motion, second by Chairperson Pena, to approve the form of the letter. Let's do does any, actually, there's a possibility we lost quorum, so I have to double check that. We're gonna do a roll call vote. We didn't lose quorum?
No.
Nobody left since the last meeting.
2 people left. Who's still?
I have to last
All
meeting.
right, okay.
We'll do a roll call vote. This will allow us to determine whether we have quorum in part. CB1, CB2, CB3, CB4, yes. CB5, CB6, CB7, CB8, CB9.
No.
I'm calling a roll call. This is a roll call vote on the motion to approve the letter as sent and to send it to Community Board. Community Board 10. Community Board 11. Community Board 12. Community Board 13.
CB 13, yes.
Community Board 14.
Community Board 14, yes.
Community Board 15.
Yes.
Community Board 16. Community Board 17. Community Board 18. Council District 33, Wrestler. Council District 34, Gutierrez. Council District 35, Hudson. Council District 36, Osei. Council District 37, Nurse. Council District 38, Aviles. Council District 39, Hanif. Council District 40, Joseph. Council District 41, Mealy.
Yes.
Council District 42, Banks. Council District 43, Schwang. Council District 44, Yeager. Council District 45, Lewis. Council District 46, Narcisse. Council District 47, Brannan. Council District 48, Vernikoff. Council District 50, Carr. The measure passes by a vote of 20 yes, 0 no, and 4 abstentions. I believe the borough president abstains. So the letter circulated in the email is adopted in form that will be published by the Community Open Government. The published letter will be included in the minutes of the Borough Board. The second matter that was under this agenda item is to determine whether to create a committee to work on editing the letter intended for the state in terms of language. There would be two parts to this. There'd be creating the committee, and then there would be putting members on the committee. One of the easier ways to do this is if anyone has wishes to, well, first you have to deal with creating the committee, then we'll figure out who can get on it. It could be as a voluntary matter. Does creating a committee to work on the letter to the state about open meetings law legislation and to refine other matters? A member would have to make a motion to create that committee under Section 85 of the Charter. Is there any desire to create a committee of the Borough Board? Hearing no motion. That is essentially all that was on that agenda item, number 7. So only one of the points were resolved. Of course, it could be brought back at a future point to talk about if some members want to caucus. And that leaves us to, that is all. That would be the adjournment.
All right.
And sort of to note, the next scheduled Borough Board meeting would be on Tuesday, March 5th.
Yep. Anyone make a motion to adjourn?
You don't have to.
No, we don't need to. All right, great. Thank you all for being here. Love you all. Good job. Good at your job. You did your job well.
This is what I was going to say.
Yes, Chairperson Witherspoon.
Oh, by all means, he is.